So a very warm welcome from Simon to all of you joining today our conversations over coffee. I hope you have your favorite warm drink ready. I got mine here with me. Uh, Super. And we're starting our monthly conversation over coffee. I have with me our great colleagues and members from Bucharest Business School, the Dean of Bucharest Business School, Professor Dr. Vasile Strat, and also the lecturer and researcher at the University of Bucharest of Economic Studies, Professor Dr. Daniela Staicu. We are excited to share that we, together with Siemens, are hosting our annual conference in Bucharest, Romania, on September 23 to 25 this year. And I have just been to Bucharest last week, and I had the pleasure to see my dear colleagues in person. And it's exciting to now that we are joining online for the conversation over coffee, just to have a bit of reflections on the topic of the conference. And the title goes as the business schools as the ecosystem orchestrators, engaging business, government, and society. And I must say, given that this is our central event of the network where we bring together deans, directors, rectors, business people, representatives of the government and NGOs and any other interested parties, I believe that this topic really suits well to all possible stakeholders. So I'm very excited that we're having this conversation where it's also an inspiration for all of us as organizers of this conference to think about who else to invite, what else to talk about. We have a great agenda cooking up, and I believe that this session would help us also to enhance it and to make it even more interesting and exciting. So without further ado, I would like to pass on to our great speakers, and I would kindly ask both speakers to do a short intro of what is their role, what is their interest, and how they perceive the topic. And also, I want to mention that when people were registering, some of them were sending some questions. So I hope that in our discussion today, we would be able to address some of the of those questions. And I also welcome other participants of the session to contribute, to speak up. And I truly believe that this should be a real conversation over coffee. So, but I would love to start with Vasile and Daniela first to kind of kick off and give us some food for thought and for discussion.
Thank you, Aigerim, very much. Daniela, please, you first.
That was a good one, Vasile.
Okay, that's an old trick, but I'm fine with it. So, good afternoon. My name is Daniela. As a short introduction, I would say that I sit at the intersection of education, of entrepreneurship practice and entrepreneurship education. I'm an entrepreneur, and at the same time, I'm also teaching at the Bucharest University of Economic Studies, where I mainly teach subjects related to entrepreneurship. More than that, I help bring practice of entrepreneurship in our university, in the sense that I coordinate our startup incubator at our university, where we put together students from 13 universities to develop business idea into real businesses. So somehow all the activities I do feed from each other. I think that's a good term. And challenge I would have for you, for our group today, would be to reflect how can business schools move from knowledge providers to ecosystem builders. This is what we are trying and making efforts to do at our university, to change, to shift to shift our purpose from providing knowledge to building ecosystems. So this is a challenge or a topic I turn to you as well for some practical examples from your work. Vasile, I give the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Thank you, Aigerin, for the introduction, and thank you all for joining today, taking the time to discuss with us. A little bit about me first, then about the university and the school, and then how we got to be selected and to host this year this important event, and why such a title for the event and such a perspective for all of us. So first, Vasile Strat, it's my name. I'm the Dean of the Bucharest Business School, which is a post-experience business school. It's like an executive education arm of the university, and it's a school of the university. It's organized this. Our university is public. However, the Romanian system is a little bit special. I'm also going to give you some details about this. I'm currently the dean, and my field of expertise is analytics, data related things. I'm a member of the statistics and econometrics department, which is hosted in another school of the university, is the School of Computer Science, Data Science, and Economic Informatics. But I'm also currently sitting on this position in this other school, post-experience school. I'm also have quite an extensive expertise in data-related topics, so business, but also government organization, national, international organizations with their technical assistance, so data-related aspects in different projects and so on. So this would be briefly my short bio. Who am I? Then, what is the university? So the so-called Bucharest University of Economic Studies has a much simpler name in Romanian, but it's that kind of a university which focuses on economics, business-related topics, public administration, law, data, computer science. So not the very specific hard science, chemistry, engineering, or anything medical, anything in that area. So this is what's special about the school is that in most countries, also East Europe, but anywhere else, there's several large universities with this structure. In Romania, which is by the East European standards a large country, by other standards medium to small, like 20 million people, this is the single university at this of this structure. So we're quite large, 20-something thousand students enrolled into the university. Another thing is this university has started this post-experience school, which manages only MBA programs, short certificates, programs tailored for companies. So this kind of education, it is quite unique in Romania. No other university has something like this. So not too many involved into this education for professionals, leaders, managers, and so on. This is why our school kind of grew and branched in a lot of fields. So we have a traditional executive MBA, which is a double degree with a university from Canada, from Montreal. A part-time MBA, which is also a double degree with a partner from France. Both of them were established in the beginning of the 90s after the fall of communism. So it's also here a story to tell, but not the purpose of today. But then we have specialized MBA programs, one for energy sector, one for the creative and cultural industries, one for education, one for business intelligence, and we're looking to new areas like health, shipping, logistics to develop programs in these areas. So basically, we are creating programs. We're gathering expertise in our university is like 800 faculty, so quite large, plus invited faculty, plus business invited business leaders. So it's quite large in numbers of experts that we can bring together, both nationally and international experts. So this is why we kind of develop a lot of programs which act like a platform for building communities around these sectors that have the possibility to kind of bring a systemic change into the Romanian economy. And we're also looking to the entire Southeast Europe, the Balkans, where we're trying to build partnerships to kind of roll out this model. So this is how we got to the idea of orchestrating the ecosystem. For example, our energy program, everybody which is both in the private sector, but both and also public sector like ministry and different institutions is somehow connected with this program. So everybody that's somebody is related with this. So this is like a platform for people to meet and discuss at our events. Some were students and now are members of the advisory board or invited speakers. So, and this is something that we're doing to all these sectors that I've mentioned. So practically, we start to become an important actor of the sector and also is the place where people meet. And then these ecosystems related to a certain field also come together and they meet at the school. So people from the energy sector meet the guys in education. The guys in education come up with ideas, but they would need financial support or different things. Okay, it's a super strong energy company. Pitch there the project. You already know the guy. It's your former colleague. You met him at an alumni meeting. So this is something that really works. And this is how we came up with the idea of try to place the school as a platform where different ecosystems and communities can build, can interact, and can develop further. So this would be how we got university, school, and we got to the event. And Simon was very, I would say inspired, but super open to hear this story and to build up an entire event around it. And also there's Dracula in Romania, so that also helps a lot.
That's valid to the social program, for sure. Thank you, Vasile. Yeah.
I've seen in chat that there was a suggestion or question. So ask the panelists the following question. How should business schools redefine their mission in a world where economic, social, and environmental challenges are increasingly interconnected? Curricula to prepare leaders for ecosystem thinking. So I'll try my short answer. So not very long, but for the first, how should business schools redefine their mission? Redefining mission, it depends what was the specific mission of a business school. But now it's the moment when the business school, or at least this is my take on it, has to become a very proactive and visible stakeholder in the ecosystem. So not generating ideas, but starting leading larger projects and offer this platform where people can meet. Because creating very polarized societies, both in business, but political level, geopolitical level, this is our reality. So you need somebody that could bring people together. And that's usually everybody is very sensitive and listening to the school. Even though there are some challenges because there's also nowadays an increasing group, I would call it, of people hating science and education. But there's a challenge in also discussing with this guy, but more, I don't think redefining mission, but redefining operation actionable things is important. So to start acting, not just providing knowledge there for somebody else to act on it. So I believe a much more proactive role is needed. And changes
Vasile,
are
can
most,
I add it here? So
yeah,
we
definitely.
So just to build on what you said, I think we can look at the universities as bridge institutions, right? So we often say the governments, they move too slowly, the startups move too fast, the corporations are typically risk averse. This is where the universities are uniquely positioned because they can bridge all these entities together through their educational programs. So just to build on what Vasile said, also to point out that rarely governments or startups or corporations succeed in isolation. So we need to move from this what we call silo thinking into bridge thinking, where we put together at the same table all these actors and they need to work at projects together and get common results, achievements.
As a moderator of the session, I would maybe welcome some also comments from some participants. I see some schools from Central Eastern Europe, from France, from Central Asia, maybe and one from I believe China. So maybe there are some comments that you want to make regarding this question, because this was a very good question and kind of relates well with the topic of our session. I just want to say that please just raise a hand and if you're ready to speak up. No, okay, people are still waiting and for you, Vasile and Daniela, to talk more, I guess, as our
So
main
we have to
speakers.
talk more. I know, we have to do
Yeah.
it. And I would go a little bit back to the second question, like what changes are most urgently needed in MBA and executive education curricula to prepare leaders for ecosystem thinking? I don't really have an answer here. What I believe it's needed is for people looking at the perspective of an MBA and more senior people, I would say, would definitely need to invite into their studies this idea. I don't think it's needed to change the curricula, but to have in mind this idea that things are much more complex than a linear business model. So there's a lot of stakeholders which you have now on the table, which were not there or were not, I would say, important. But now they become very visible, and like this success becomes a very ecosystem related job. So you can only be successful in a successful ecosystem, which as long as ecosystem was something very broad, was probably not your concern because it was too far away. And now ecosystems tend to become I don't know, we have like a galaxy of ecosystems now, which tend to have competing interest most of the times, and therefore people able to kind of manage expectations and generate consensus become very important. Not so super ultra specialized people are still important, but people that manage to smooth differences, in my opinion, are super important. And programs should focus on that, on creating this kind of connectors, just to say something like this.
I see
Daniela,
a
if you want to
comment.
add anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I was reflecting this morning about one of the questions I saw on a list, and I think that in the curricula we should also add a topic related to endurance and recovery. It's what we typically call resilience. Because I think it's important to know how to withstand shocks and how to bounce back. We in school, we train, we prepare people to become better employees, better managers, and or entrepreneurs, right? To have an entrepreneurial mindset. And typically we teach them various frameworks to use, sort of to keep building on their business. So we teach them how to build several sequences so they can reach the result they have in mind. But rarely in real life, things happen as you planned. Yeah, reflect that in the past, I think 20 years almost, we had more than four crises. We had the 2008 crisis, we had COVID in 2020, the war in Ukraine started in 2022, then in 2026 we have this Iran situation, plus on top of that we have the AI shift. I think it makes sense to teach also how to actually be able to endure and recover fast, as an employee, of course, or as an entrepreneur. And I'm not sure if this could be a topic by itself. Resilience itself and frameworks for resilience can be a topic to add, or simply to embed in current topics that we're teaching in the MBA. But myself as entrepreneur as well, I feel this need to teach students that, yeah, shocks will happen. You cannot control when and where, but you should be able to withstand and bounce back. And how do you do that? Having some framework taught in school that can help you do that faster and with less anxiety. So these are my 2 cents on what to add in the MBA curricula. Teach resilience with practical frameworks for recovering, for bouncing back.
Yeah. I see a good comment from International Executive School in Strasbourg, our member school, that they're transforming the classroom with the entrepreneurial environment. And they're inviting the real world experts and entrepreneurs to come and teach, and share the experience and collaborate on the projects. And I think that's really good that they learn from the example, basically, as what you say, Daniela, being resilient, being in endurance, and being able to recover fast is something that are the good traits of an entrepreneur that students can learn from.
Yeah, typically from entrepreneurs, they learn about, all right, what happened and what was the move that the entrepreneur did. But I think we need to equip them with how with frameworks that they can easily, take out of a box in their mind and employ when, let's say, you're hearing the news that the war started somewhere and it's affecting your expenses because everything is related to gas. So you might feel inspired by the story of real entrepreneurs, but you also have to be equipped with, as I said, some frameworks that you can easily reach, and they can help you solve your particular situation, because rarely you are in the same situation as someone else. Yeah, someone else tells you that, look, I had this situation and I did it this way, but you will not get the same context or the same problem to solve. You'll have a different context and a different problem. So in this case, you need to be equipped like with a structure that you can take and then say, look, I need to do these steps. to get out of this situation, right? Because we teach them Porter 5 forces, supply chain, SWOT, and others. So frameworks like this that can help you reach out to them and try to solve your situation with the support of this.
Zina, would you like to add something? I see you raised a hand. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yes, I think even nowadays, corporate, we need to teach the student not only to be managers, following by the book, the instruction and the policy and the procedure. They need to have the initiative of entrepreneur within their company, because nowadays, with all the changes we have, the geopolitical situation, so students needs to take initiative, think outside the box, you know what I mean? So I think also we need to equip them with the entrepreneur within the company itself.
Yeah,
So,
the entrepreneur.
yeah,
The
absolutely,
entrepreneur.
absolutely, absolutely. And when I say, we are teaching them in the classroom by inviting the entrepreneur themselves, but we have always the lecturer. You understand my point? So it's the knowledge combining with the real case scenario. And we did it with several cases here in Strasbourg, and it shows that it's really working. You understand? And people, they are coming back even to say, please, can we expose our challenge, and can we have this? Because again, the diversity of students you have, the different mindset, the different culture, it helps.
Yeah.
I see also another comment there in the chat, and quite an insightful one, and I would kindly ask you to have a look and also see if anybody has any comments on that. So it's again about the priorities that we as business schools should have to enable the future leadership in the ecosystem collaboration and impact. Would there be any other examples maybe, or some cases that you recently had in your academic practice to support?
I get him here. I would try to contribute a little bit. One of the things that we need to differentiate and make quite clear is that competencies approach needs to be different depending on what type of students you're talking with. In the school the school that I'm leading, we're talking mostly about executive education type of program. So there's people already making decisions, having positions which need for them to kind of perform, lead, and something, which is totally different than talking to somebody which is just starting. It's like different capabilities that you need to show in order to integrate in a organization or ecosystem at these two different moments in your career. So to connect with Elnura's comment, in our case, for this kind of professionals which already have 7, 10, 12 years or more of experience, this understanding that there's something more than performance is super important, and helping them increase courage, responsibility, communication, negotiation, understanding that winning cannot be done alone is super important, because performance and be a very good expert in your field took you this long. Now, when you're leading something, you get competing interests, you're competing with other departments in the organization for resources, you need to do something else. Being ultra mega competitive and being the one that wins always is gonna lead you to a certain moment, which has now coming back to statistics. Has a low probability of happening, so a very special moment, but has a very high impact on you, so it might actually kill you. So don't put yourself, we're trying to help them understand that not protecting yourself of those ultra rare events, but which have a very high impact on you, is very dangerous. So being ultra performant and competitive might lead to losing resilience of the organization, which at a certain moment is not okay. Might be okay for your morale and when you look into the mirror today, but tomorrow might be dangerous. So that's something for a leader to balance also. Winning always might be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of this was, I hope it invited a different perspective.
It definitely does. Thank you very much. I'm just browsing through the questions that were asked before we started the session, and I wondered if anybody wants to take, I mean, Vasile and Daniela, if you want to take any specific question.
Let me see.
From what I see now in the list, I see that what are the possible future scenarios for universities in all of that. So, I mean, as a CIMA representative, I would say that it's good to be part of a network just to have a kind of a common and shared interest in things that we do, even if some of our opinions are different, and it's good to exchange those. And for that, I think all of the networks are good to network, to talk to each other, and to share the perspectives, and to find a common understanding of where we are moving. And of course, we want to impose a very important role on the business schools. But we also do the reality check that it's not sometimes possible. It could be some individual cases in certain areas and regions, but it's still not a big trend. So I think it's very important for us to stay connected and to explore those opportunities. I just also wanted to mention that during the conference, we would have an opportunity to go and see the Romanian companies, the local businesses. And this we always do at our CIMAN annual conference, just to get the taste of the local business context, to understand how they operate. And thanks to our colleagues, we will also have some speakers that come from the business background, also to share what they think, and we would be able to witness this bridge between the academia and the business. And I wonder if Vasile and Daniela have some other comments to make on that side of our conference.
Well, for the conference, no, but just a bit about some scenarios for universities, because that was the first question you approach. Here I will build again on something that Vasile said in the beginning, sort of the platform university, yeah? The university capable to connect students, companies, and government and society. So that could be one approach to take for future scenarios. Another one, and I see here plenty of movement in our university, entrepreneurial university, which starts preparing more and more students to add to the local economy by becoming entrepreneurs. And that is student building ventures while they study. And another scenario, because typically when we say scenarios, we always look at the bright side, right? We like to think optimistic. But what if we take the worst case scenarios where a university can become irrelevant, right? Either it moves too slow, it remains too theoretical, or does not have staff capable to do the connections required in the society. Yeah, so why not also this scenario, yeah, of failure among universities as well.
Any comments from the audience?
Yeah, maybe some other scenarios you do see for universities in the future. We would be quite curious to understand what's your viewpoint.
Our audience is quite modest today with the responses, I see.
Okay.
Here to add something, Aigerim and Daniela, about the other part of the question. So one of the things that you'll definitely see, which is tradition for the Siemens event, is visit some Romanian business. We will choose something we are already discussing, technology related, because this is the strength of the Romanian ecosystem. This is like the first domain, but and most important, where Romanian businesses became global players. So this is technology, cybersecurity, RPA. This is the area where things excel, because one of the things that you might not know about Romania is that here is where the mathematics Olympiad, the competition among high school students, started for the world. So Romania is after the super large countries like US, Russia, China. They're in, I think it's in top 5 or top 6 by the number of gold medalists. So it's quite, for a small country, it's quite strong. This kind of competencies and skills are important. And on one other thing, which is not political, but has something to do with politicians, our president is probably the single president now and before, and I don't know when we'll have another president like this in the world. He has 2 gold medals at this International Olympiad in mathematics, so he's very good mathematician. So this is quite a strong skill set. This is why we will select, and also some of the speakers that you'll see in the conference are coming from this technology area, because no matter what economic sectors, this is our strength. So this is why we kind of selected these companies, and some of them are probably, anyway, it's going to be a surprise until closer to the conference, but some have products that some of you might use. But I don't know if you know that they are Romanian.
They will know
So,
afterwards. Okay.
yes.
Zina,
That's the
do you
part of the learning.
Yeah.
I think Romania is playing an important role also in healthcare, and we need to mention that. Romania, especially in destination like Cluj, they build a very good quality medical school, and we have a lot of French students going to Romania for medical, study. Not only that, we have a lot of Romanian coming to France and doing their internship. So we have a lot of exchange between Romania and France in terms of healthcare, and Romania is playing a key role in the healthcare system in France. You know what I mean? So because of this ecosystem and how we are building it, that's why the ecosystem here in France is still working. Because of that. And also the quality of education is there. So you see, sometimes European countries can do a nice model that other, section can also follow. So if it works in the healthcare, maybe we can also implement it in other area. But I know Cluj because I'm really concerned, because I have a lot of doctors coming from Cluj and practicing here in Strasbourg. So I think it's very interesting to see that.
So just to give you some numbers, Zina, that will support what you're saying. So in Romania, in the medical schools is yearly starting studies financed through grants by the Romanian state, but also by their own funding. So through tuition fees, like 7,000 medical students, and the Romanian ecosystem only offers jobs for about 1,500. So the rest, are going anywhere in West Europe. So it's the case also in Germany. It was before in UK. Plus, we have a lot of students coming from North Africa and the Middle East. And mostly it's an important venue for French-speaking people because Romanian, it's also Latin, also language helps. It's after you stay a few months, you become familiar. Reading, it's
Absolutely,
easier
Vasile,
and also understanding.
I'm telling you that because I am exposed to that since many years. You know what I mean? In CHU de Strasbourg, it's one of the top public university medical, and honestly, because of the Romanian, how can I say, health. The medical sector and universities in Romania, it's contributing not only French going to Romania, coming back, but also Romanian coming to, as you said, you know, and we can see it in several area in, in hospital, physiotherapy, not only, you know, doctors, surgeon, huge number.
So this is, yes, Zina, medical doctors, mathematicians, ITs, engineers. So this is kind of the technical things where you need to follow a standard. You need to understand very complex ecosystems. So this is the business skills, managing, negotiating. That's our weak side. And this is why we're trying to work on this because we're more also the former Romanian pre-university education system trains people for this technical things. So you have to memorize a lot of things. You have to understand very complex procedures to replicate them, to explain them. Less human skills that you need in the day-to-day life. So they could do a lot of complex computation and code since younger age, but lower skills on the day-to-day living.
Like social skills, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a bit of like local education with global impact, right? Because we train here and they serve, let's say, several countries in Europe.
Definitely. Yeah, true.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to see some speakers from Romania and also to learn who are the companies. What are the companies that we're going to visit? And it's going to be an exciting conversation. I see that we have a couple of minutes left, and I wondered if anybody wants to ask something or comment on something, or maybe our dear speakers would want to give some closing comments.
If I can just I'll take a question from the list. How can business
Sure.
schools engage governments in a win-win relationship? And here we have an example from one of our MBAs, the MBA in energy, where basically the professors at the Bucharest Business School in this program, they prepare people from government. So basically from government institution and publicly owned companies in the energy field, and not only, but mainly this type of people to perform in company state in publicly owned companies. So I would say that this is a clear example that business schools prepare governments in this example in the energy sector, so public entities in the energy sector to perform better. So I would say this is a win-win relationship on actually being able to produce better employees, better leaders, for example.
Yeah, that's a very good example. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Zino, you wanted to say something.
As a member, Siemens member, I think, you know, we have a lot of projects going on with EU, you know what I mean? But again, Siemens can play a big role in terms of institution kind of entrepreneur project, because we cannot just count on EU, but also we as a private business school being member of Siemens or accredited from Siemens, we can also work on specific project. Like I gave the example of the healthcare, how France and Romania worked on the healthcare, you see? So we can work it out on different other domain. Like you said just now, the soft skills that if we are good in soft skills in negotiation, in customer service, you know what I mean, so we can also work on project like that, and this will be really the added value of not only Siemens but also institution Siemens member and accredited from Siemens.
Yeah. No. I appreciate this comment. It's a good idea. I mean, we could keep the conversation going about that and to see the central role of Siemens in bringing together experts like you are and trying to think of some nice projects that would really benefit a very wide group of stakeholders.
Okay.
We can even start the discussions quite early now. So then by the time we meet in September in Bucharest, there is also already something cooked, and then we could have an in-person meeting and maybe even a wider discussion with the audience. As you know, we have also the poster session. We have some space in the pre-conference events, and of course our dean-to-dean sessions where we discuss the partnerships. And this would be the good opportunity to have an in-person conversation.
Okay, good. We can add to the agenda. It's still cooking.
Yes. That's what you see. It's good to have a conversation going, and we could really add some good changes to the content of the program. And I see now that we really have to focus on certain things because we have this general idea of what it should be about, but it's always great to get some feedback. I also want to kind of once again express my gratitude to the Bucharest Business School team to being very active in preparation of this event, and I really look forward to an engaging conversation and an exciting experience. I really enjoyed visiting Bucharest the other week, and I hope to see a wider group of Siemens network members joining us in September.
Thank you. It was good to have you here. Yeah.
Everybody book your flights for September. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good to book now, actually.
Yes.
Just to say some resources, yes. But it's good that Bucharest Airport is very connected, so it's quite easy to find a flight. So to wrap up this Conversations Over Coffee session, I thank you very much for joining, and big thank you to Vasile and Daniela for being very responsive and having some good ideas and responding to some questions that are still there. And we always say that if there are any further questions or discussions or ideas to share, you can always contact the Siemens team to pass it on, or of course you can find Vasile and Daniela on social media and connect with them as well to have a more engaging conversation about some topics. Vasile, Daniela, if you have any closing remarks.
Yeah. We look better in person, so please come to Bucharest, and in the end of September, we promise we look better and we talk better face to face.
Thank you, everybody, very much, and I wish you a very nice weekend. And please stay connected with Siemens on social media, and please do register to the conference as early as possible. There is still early bird spots, and see you in Bucharest.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Happy
Thank
weekend.
you, everybody.